Hey there guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. I hope you're having an amazing day and welcome to another episode of Cardiff Insiders with yours truly, Toby Mott. On this episode, I'll be telling you 5 top tips about how to bag that summer internship that you've had your eye on for quite a few weeks now. So, I know that you're probably far too busy worrying about exams and coursework deadlines at the moment, but once they're all over, once you've had a few days off and you're starting to think, what am I going to do with myself? I know you can't imagine it now, but it will probably happen. There will come a point where you look for summer internships if you're that way inclined. And they are really, really important. Everybody says a degree is not enough and emphasises the importance of doing things outside of your degree. And a summer internship is the perfect way to show an employer that you're motivated, you're keen, you're willing, and that you'll be a great asset to their company. Tip number 1 is CVs, or more specifically, quantifying your achievements. Now, I could spend hours sitting here talking to you about what makes a good CV and what makes a bad CV, but the most crucial thing I've found in my experience that has helped me the most is learning that buzzwords and things like woolly stuff, it doesn't count for anything. If you've got I am passionate, keen, willing on your CV, I don't want to sound like I'm not in any position to tell someone what's right and what's wrong, but I would strongly suggest that isn't doing anything for you, purely because that's expected and it can't be measured. If you take that line out, and if you're this could be a really tenuous example, but if you're a banker, instead you'd write, last year I made £500,000 for my business. And you can transfer this to anything that you do. If you work in a cafe, you could say, I helped deal with 20 customers on a very, very busy Thursday shift, for example. And all of this stuff, it shows these attributes, keen, willing, that kind of thing. But it gives the employer something that can be measured and something that doesn't sound so stereotypical. Tip number 2, cover letters. Obviously, when you apply for summer internships, a cover letter is bound to be somewhere in the application. A few obvious things really. Try and get the name of the person you're addressing it to. If you're addressing dear company, it doesn't have the same personal feel as if you track down the boss or a department manager or something and address it to them. If you do that, it's human nature. They're going to feel more obliged to respond to you. Also, conciseness is a really, really big thing. 4 paragraphs, if that, is more than enough. Who you are, why you want to do an internship with them, what you can offer them, which is my next point, and a polite sign off. I mentioned there what you can offer them. This is arguably the most crucial thing. Although obviously you're doing an internship to develop yourself and develop your skills and get a reference and get them on your CV, you need to sell yourself in terms of what you can offer them. So if it's an internship that requires a lot of customer service, for example, and you've worked in a shop for the past year of your life, really, really sell that on your cover letter. Say that you've worked in a shop and you would love to test out your skills in a prestigious environment such as theirs. That is, again, it's a broad example. If they think that they're going to get something out of you, which they will do, if you're applying for summer internships, you're obviously keen. If they think that they're going to get something out of you, then they will be 100 times more willing to offer you that summer internship. Tip number 3 is invention. There are loads and loads of summer internship schemes out there, but almost all of them are so oversubscribed. How do you deal with this? Personally, in the past, I've dealt with this by getting inventive. Look for phone number. This is going to sound a little bit stalkerish, but this is where you've got to be clever about things. Everyone's on the internet. Facebook, Twitter, social media, it's all there. Find companies' phone numbers. Ring companies up. Politely ask whether you could be passed on to their work experience department or whoever manages personnel or whatever, and make yourself known to them. Politely ask whether they've got any work experience opportunities going. If they say yes and ask for a CV, then you're there. If they say no, then politely ask if they'd mind if you can send your CV along to keep on record. When any work experience opportunity does come up, they'll hopefully immediately think of you and think, yeah, this person was keen enough to ring us and is genuinely interested in our company, so let's get them in for an interview. As well as picking up the phone, obviously on Twitter and Facebook it is so important to manage your own profile for a start. So no drunk photos, no tweeting when you're angry, annoyed, drunk, all that kind of stuff. But also get in touch with the people in your industry. So if you want to go into media, for example, like me, I follow several TV people on Twitter and I try to converse with them. If they have just recently worked on a show you really, really like, give them a tweet. Say, hey, I really, really liked your show and I was really impressed with blah, 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 blah. Number 4, do your research. So if you apply for a summer internship, research that company you're applying to. Not only so you can impress them with your, well, for a start, if you research the company, it allows you to adapt your CV and cover letter accordingly to match the company's demands. And it also allows you to get clued up for any interview that they might invite you in for. It allows you to know whether this company is a good fit for you. At the end of the day, even though you don't want to show it, you're doing the internship for you and you alone. So you need to know whether this company will help you in your further career goals. If you're just going to spend 2 months at this company and the experience isn't going to help you and etc, etc, then what's the point? But you've got to research the company to know whether the experience that they can offer you will be worth it, which is why it's so, so important. Get on Google, even if it's just Googling the company name and reading a little bit about what they do, it's much, much better than nothing. And finally, number 5 is don't give up. As I said, summer internships are constantly oversubscribed, everybody wants them, and it can be really, really demoralising, especially when you're sending application after application after application out and getting no response at all. Take your time on your applications, customise them to each job role, and send them out and then forget about them. And then if you get a response, that's absolutely fantastic. But if you don't, try not to get too downhearted. Just keep plugging away and eventually you will get somewhere. So that's it for this episode of Cardiff Insiders. I hope exams and coursework deadlines are going very, very well. And I will see you next month. Cheers, guys.